Okay, good evening, or good afternoon, I guess. With me today is Minister Hudson and Minister McKay, and they'll both have some updates here. We'll start with an update from the Operations Committee. So both federal and provincial governments have been working hard to get important financial supports out to Islanders as we deal with this unprecedented situation. There are supports for workers and businesses, tenants and landlords, and through our community partners, there are social supports for Islanders. These supports are substantive and comprehensive. However, we realize that as government, we can't and don't know every situation that Islanders are facing. But we do know that we do not want to leave any Islander behind. So if you're experiencing urgent income loss because of COVID-19, but for some reason don't qualify for any existing federal or provincial programs, we want to hear from you. We want you to reach out because we want to help. Starting Friday, April 3rd, Islanders, NGOs, and businesses who are experiencing COVID-19 related losses and are unable to access provincial or federal supports may be eligible for new help under the $1 million COVID-19 Special Situation Fund. For Islanders who are in need and can't find help, please call our toll-free line 1-833-533-9333 and select 2 for social and community supports. You'll be given information on all our available programs, and Islanders who can't qualify for an existing program may be eligible for up to $1,000 anytime after April 16th. Businesses and community organizations that are financially impacted by COVID-19 who aren't eligible for any other federal or provincial business supports program may also be eligible for help. For business and community groups and NGOs, please call our toll-free line at 1-833-533-9333 and select 3 for business supports. You'll be given information on our existing programs, and organizations who can't qualify for existing programs are able to apply for assistance. Applications for businesses and organizations must be received by April 15th. I want to make it clear, this is an emergency support fund for Islanders who have been financially impacted by COVID-19 and who are not eligible for federal and provincial funding support. This fund is for the most urgent situations. More information will be available online in the coming days. As we work to roll out this special situation funding, there are many supports available, so please still call if you need help. We can help you access food and childcare. There is help for the self-employed, including emergency income relief. There is help for businesses, including emergency working capital financing. There's help for employees, including emergency relief worker assistance and the employee gift card program. There's federal help like employment insurance and the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. Call us to see how we can help you. The number again is 1-833-533-9333. And let me be clear, we as a government are doing our best to distribute funding to meet the most urgent COVID-19 needs first. There are many programs available. We are calling on the good nature of Islanders. We need to hear the most urgent situations. We need to know if there is no help available. This is not a time for you to game the system. This is a time for Islanders to rally together and help shore up each other. Help us help everyone by respecting the process, apply through the proper programs for the most urgent needs. Again, this special situation funding is funds that will ensure that no Islander will be left behind, and it will be up and running on Friday. I'd also like to take the opportunity to provide some clarity around non-essential government services following a discussion with the Chief Public Health Officer earlier today. All non-essential government workers will continue to work from home until May 11th. We will continue to evaluate the situation along with the Chief Public Health Office. And also, as I mentioned yesterday, and Dr. Morrison spoke about earlier today, my department is working closely with the Chief Public Health Office to enhance enforcement of non-essential travel coming to our province. Since we began screening travelers arriving in our province via the Confederation Bridge last night, we have asked 11 individuals to turn around as their travel to our province was deemed non-essential based on the guidelines of the Chief Public Health Office. These 11 individuals arrived in 4 separate vehicles. Traffic screening continues to be strict at the Confederation Bridge, and we remind Islanders that those traveling should only be doing so if it's deemed essential. that, I'll turn it over to Minister Hudson for his update.
Thank you, Minister Myers, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to start by recognizing the essential work of the individuals working in our seniors' homes, community care facilities, and residential programs across the province. At a time when physical contact is absent to ensure the health and safety of our island community, and typical routine is simply out the window, these workers are stepping up, going above and beyond. Thank you. Thank you all. Now, I'd like to give an update on some of the programs that I've announced in the last number of weeks. 2 weeks ago, the province announced $250,000 to the United Way of Prince Edward Island to support community organizations with their COVID-specific needs. This was under the United Way Compassion Program. I'm pleased to say that at this point, 14 organizations have received approval for a total of $80,000 in funding. The Tablet for Seniors program with the Community Foundation of Prince Edward Island has rolled out 100 tablets. They have been purchased and they are in the process of being delivered to our community care facilities and our long-term care facilities right across the province. And credit unions are partnering with the Community Foundation in the delivering of the tablets. And I'd also like to note that a total of $15,000 has been raised on top of the $10,000 that the province has donated. I want to thank the many islanders who have contributed to the fund and have recognized how important that personal connection is for seniors. Last week, a single toll-free number was set up to connect islanders with health and business information, as well as to provide support to islanders who are in self-isolation and require basic needs like medicine, food, and pet supplies. Since March 21st, we have received 469 calls from islanders in self-isolation requiring help, and we've been able to provide that help, whether that be answers to their questions or connecting them with supports that they need in their community. Islanders in need should call 1-833-533-9333. Additionally, Islanders can find assistance through the Islanders Helping Islanders directory, located at princeedwardisland.ca/IslandersHelp. Since launching on March 24th, almost 1,300 Islanders have visited this site. I want to thank MLAs who have helped develop the directory and offer a sincere thank you to the 182 organizations offering help across the province. In the past several weeks, with the outbreak of COVID-19, we have shown our commitment to Islanders by putting their health and safety and financial security as our top priority. My colleagues and I have introduced programs to help Islanders ensure that they could put food on the table, keep a roof over their head, and have the social supports available to get through this challenging time. We have also looked at our current programs and how they could help right now. With respect to supporting renters, the PEI Housing Corporation has placed a moratorium on evictions to the end of June, and we continue to provide rental support with rent geared to income of 25%. If any Islander currently in our housing programs has seen their income change, we want you to call us. Reach out to our housing office. As well, IRAC is currently holding hearing for non-payment of rent. Earlier this morning, the Minister of Justice and Public Safety and the Attorney General announced that the Supreme Court of PEI supported the province's application to suspend enforcement of eviction orders unless an urgent situation exists. This is to protect the health and safety of tenants and the sheriffs who insist in the enforcement. The province has continued to speak with landlords as well. We're pleased to see that their association has said that they will work with tenants to make individualized arrangements as needed. Earlier this week, I announced a new rent supplement program to help islanders who have lost financial income due to COVID-19. I'm pleased to provide more details on that program today. The temporary rental assistance benefit will provide $1,000 per household that has been impacted by COVID-19. This will assist tenants with the cost of rent over the next 3 months. Eligible islanders will receive $500 for April's rent and $250 for both May and June. The rent will be paid directly to landlords. Islanders are eligible for the rent if they are currently receiving or applying for employment insurance or the Canada Emergency Response Benefit due to COVID-19. Also, are a resident of PEI and are not currently receiving rental support from other government or non-government organizations. Self-employed islanders who are able to meet the emergency income relief for the self-employed criteria will also be eligible for this program. Islanders can call 1-877-368-5770 to apply. As well, information regarding criteria as well as the application form itself will be available on my department's website very shortly. I want to confirm that students who live off campus are also eligible for this program. This program will see that those impacted will receive, as I mentioned before, $500 in April, $250 in May, and $250 in June. We have designed the program this way because in April, the federal assistance program may roll out slower than what is needed by islanders. That is why we are adding the top-up for April, similar to Minister McKay's income top-up of $750 that he announced yesterday. Those individuals who are eligible for this program will see money start to flow immediately while we wait for the federal programs to roll out. We know your income will not be 100% of what it was pre-pandemic, and that's why we are stepping up. With so many unknowns right now, it is important that as governments, as communities, as neighbors and friends, we find ways to help each other. As the situation continues to evolve, we will continue to adapt. No islander will be left behind. No islander will fall through the cracks. We've all been impacted by this global pandemic. We miss visiting with parents, children, family members, and friends. We miss holding our grandchildren. I urge all islanders to adhere to Dr. Morrison's directives, self-isolate if required, exercise social distancing, and stay home unless it's essential that you get out. We're islanders. We're tough, we're resilient, and we're there for each other. Remember, this is short-term pain so that we can all stay safe, so that we can all stay healthy. Stay home, stay apart, do your part. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister Hudson. Now we'll move to Mr. McKay for his update.
Thank you, Minister Myers. Good evening, everyone. As islanders continue to self-isolate at home, you may find yourself looking for something to do. Maybe there's a skill you've always wanted to learn, something that in the past you've put off, or just simply couldn't find the time to do. Well, now is the time. I challenge all islanders to take advantage of this opportunity and learn something new. It's important for our minds to continue learning and growing so that when you return to work, you have more skills to offer than ever before. Government has a long-standing partnership with Holland College, who offer free online courses to Islanders, such as Marketing in the Digital Age, HR Fundamentals, Small Business Management, Customer Service, Project Management, and many more. Islanders interested in enhancing their skills can visit www.eforcepei.ca. Once again, www.eforcepei.ca. In the last few weeks during these unprecedented times, businesses across the province have experienced unique challenges that they likely never encountered before. I applaud, and frankly, I'm amazed by the many island businesses who are being innovative and resilient to shift their business and reflect the needs and wants of Islanders during this unprecedented time. Now more than ever before, we see local businesses offering delivery and bringing products right to the doorsteps of island homes. For businesses who may still be struggling to navigate solutions for their business during this time, we are here to help. Today, we are announcing the COVID-19 Business Adaptation Advice Program. Government will cover 100% of the cost for businesses and entrepreneurs to hire a professional to provide advice and support on how to adapt or recover from the impacts of COVID-19. Professional services may include human resources and financial planning, digital or IT solutions, marketing advice, and more. Starting tomorrow, businesses interested in this program can find more details at princeedwardisland.ca/COVID for business. Once again, princeedwardisland.ca/COVID for business. Today, I'm also pleased to launch the Community Champions Program. This $300,000 program is a new partnership with Loblaws to meet the food-related needs of our island communities. This program is for Islanders who need help right now, for seniors in need, for families in need, for those who need to put food on the table right now. All 27 MLAs have united together to ensure Islanders from tip to tip are helped through this new program. Community organizations in all 27 districts will be supported with gift cards that can be used at any Loblaw Company Limited banner store, including Atlantic Superstore, No Frills, and your independent grocers. The community organizations were selected for their experience and their services they have already been providing in the community with input by their local MLAs. Our network of community sector partners are best able to deliver these services to Islanders that are most in need, and we will continue to work with them going forward. Lastly, I want to take this opportunity to say we certainly recognize that not every program we roll out will fit the needs of every Islander and every business. There are gaps and holes in our programs, but I promise you we are committed to doing what we can the best we can. We know we're not perfect. My staff are working incredibly hard every single day to support Islanders and businesses who need help right now. And we will continue to roll out support programs as we wait for the federal government to announce more supports for businesses. I'll wrap things up by reminding all Islanders that we know these are tough times, you have our support, and we will get through this together. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister McKay. So with that, we'll go directly to the phone lines for questions from the media.
Nicole Williams, CBC.
Hi there. I believe this question would be for Minister Myers. I'm just wondering if you can be specific about this sort of special circumstance fund. What kind of example of a person or business or NGO would qualify for this kind of money?
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. So basically, anybody who doesn't qualify for any of the other programs, as you know, staff and the ministers here that I'm sitting with have worked really hard over the last 3 weeks to deliver programming to Islanders who have been affected by COVID-19. None of us are perfect, and none of us profess to be, and we want to make sure that there's nobody going to be left behind. I think that's been expressed by the Premier, by both the ministers who sit here with me today, and by myself. So this program is kind of a catch-all. If we don't want to see people falling through the cracks because they're just missing a program by a little bit and they're still being affected by COVID-19. So any Islander or any business could qualify, but the catch is that they can't qualify for any other program to qualify for this one.
Okay, thank you. And I'm wondering. I know that Dr. Morrison earlier mentioned that she's been speaking with the province on finding locations for essential workers needing to self-isolate. I'm wondering if you have more details on what that might look like or what those conversations have been.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll take that. There's been a number of departments working together on this initiative and working with the local hotel industry and looking at the current accommodation catalog that exists on Prince Edward Island. So this is kind of a moving target. Everybody's working on this together, and other than that, that's probably as much of an update as I could give at this point, but certainly hope to have something done by, say, the end of the weekend and into the first next week so that we can talk about it then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rachel Collier, Eastern Graphics.
Hi there. I guess I have a question for McKay, and that is, do you know who is going to monitor host farms bringing in foreign farm workers to ensure that they are following the correct procedures?
Thank you for that question. So we've been dealing with our federal counterparts daily on this. We should have an update in the coming days. I know the Premier has had conference calls with all Atlantic premiers on this as well. So there is plans in place. I don't have all the details, but should have an update relatively soon on that.
Okay, thank you.
Wayne Thibodeau, CBC.
If we could go back to Minister Myers for just a moment. Minister Myers, I know you mentioned about the 11 people who were turned around at the Confederation Bridge. Can you tell me what the situation is at the Charlottetown Airport? I know today we had 3 flights coming in, 2 from Halifax, 1 from Montreal. Are those passengers also being screened, and are we prepared to send people back by air as well as by the bridge?
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. So I'm not sure if we have as ease of use to the airport to send people back. There's not always a flight that goes back. As you know, a lot of the flights that come in here at night, and there is no turnaround flight. The plane actually stays on the ground here in Charlottetown overnight. But there has been, and it has been for a number of weeks now, a very concerted effort by the public health officials to inform people of what they need to do once they land, what they need to do to self-isolate, and we would have a good record of people coming in there.
And just to follow up with regards to those 11 individuals, are the people on the ground giving you some sense of what they're telling you and why they're coming here? Are they coming here for vacation? Are they coming here for business? Why are they coming to PEI, given all the warnings that have been out from health officials?
I think there's a variety of reasons people are coming, probably the most of which people still aren't taking this serious enough, but I think these new measures are starting to show that. The people that were turned around, there was no argument. I mean, they voluntarily turned the rig around once they determined themselves that they weren't essential. So I think it's more of getting the message into people's heads that this is very serious, and now we're taking it seriously, as are all the other provinces. And I think that we'll, over the next week or so, probably have that number down to 0.
Thank you very much.
Stu Neapy, The Guardian.
Hi, good afternoon. Question for Minister Ernie Hudson on the temporary rental assistance program. Just wonder if you can give me a few more details about it, including when applications can be received, when disbursement of the actual funds will occur, and whether the fund is still $1 million or whether that's been increased or not.
Yes, thank you, Stu. The application and the criteria, it will be up on my department's website. If it isn't up now, it will certainly be up by the end of the day today. With regard to your question on if there's an increase in the original amount that I had announced here earlier this week, what I would say on that is, as we move forward, we're going to have to see what the intake is, what the uptake, I maybe should say, is on that program. The criteria that is there, as long as Islanders do meet that criteria, the funding will be there. At the end of the day, if it has to be increased, it will be.
Okay. Now, there's already been a fair amount of criticism about this program. I mean, just today we had an op-ed published in The Guardian from 2 outgoing executives of the UPEI Students' Union. So for those tenants who sort of feel like this program has been a bit of an afterthought, I mean, what's your response to people who've sort of critique this program already before it's even up and running?
Well, thanks for that question, Stu. And I guess as both my colleagues here, Minister Myers and Minister McKay, have indicated, we're in a difficult situation, difficult times right across the province. Every decision that we make, is it going to be the best or the most appropriate? We do our best. I think when I look back at when this 1 million fund for rental assistance was announced earlier this week, I guess that there was two things there. What I had heard, what my colleagues had heard, was that there was a need for this. So with that, the announcement was made even in advance of having the exact criteria. I think the feedback that I got, for the most part anyway, was comfort level from tenants that there was going to be something, that the dollars were there and that they were going to be looked after. And today now we do have the criteria. We will have the application up online. And it was, in my opinion, again, it was important to get that information out, though, as soon as possible, that there was going to be a program, and by doing that, to provide a level of comfort to tenants right across the island.
Okay, thank you.
Carrie Wynn McLeod, Ocean 100.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I guess my first question is for Minister McKay. With regards to the Community Champions program and with Loblaws, I just wasn't sure if you'd said how people that need that help right away with those gift cards through community organizations, they'll be distributed, but how will people know exactly which organizations to contact, or do they contact their MLA, or do they just call the general 1-800 number for information?
Thanks, Carrie Wynn. So this program, like I said, was worked out with all the MLAs. I can't say enough to all 27 MLAs. They really come together for the betterment of the people and the communities here. So what we've got now, we've got approximately 80 different groups through different communities. That there's going to be a list out, hopefully as of tomorrow, that every MLA and every Islander will be able to see. The phone numbers will be on there, and they'll be able to contact them direct. So within, I'm hoping, 24 hours, we should have that up.
Thank you, Minister. My next question is for Minister Myers. I'm just wondering, you mentioned about the foreign workers that are coming in to work in the agriculture industry. I'm of the understanding that there's also been foreign workers who have already arrived that would normally work within the fishing industry, and they're here but have been allowed to come in, but yet there's been no decision yet on whether that spring lobster fishery will go.
I don't think that would fall under Mr. McKay.
I'll take that, Carrie Wynn. From my understanding, no temporary foreign workers have come in here yet. So if you have some information that I don't, I would love to have it so we can follow up with that.
Okay, certainly. Can I ask another question then of Minister Myers? Sure. You had spoken about the Operations Committee, and we all know that the current Government Operations Committee in Ottawa, where it's kind of the focus and the hub of all the things that are happening across the country, different models that are being put together. I believe the Prime Minister spoke about it earlier this morning, but no details were given about all those different models that have been put together and the different scenarios that are possible with this. But a national newspaper had obtained one of the documents dated March 30th from the current Government Operations Centre in Ottawa, saying that the best case scenario at this time is that current measures that are in place now will last until at least July. Can you comment on that?
I didn't see that article, but I know we've moved all of our numbers to May 11th. I think most of that question probably belongs with Dr. Morrison, but I know from our Operations Committee we look at the internal workings of government. That's why I come here and I talk about the bridge one day and the liquor store another day, and government employees on another day. So ours is extremely focused on what we're doing internally, but we're heeding the advice of Dr. Morrison, and that's why when I announced today the May 11th date, it was under her advice, and we will continue to wait for her advice on the date. And if the date was to move out to a date that's further, it would first come from her, not me.
Table, you would have information from the operations center in Ottawa as well.
Yes, but that would all still funnel through Dr. Morrison first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, so that is it for this afternoon. Thank you all for tuning in, and thanks for all the questions, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks.